Hi, I'm Emily Phillips, and I did the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. To start, the main characters are Wormwood, and Screwtape, and then someone known as the Patient. Screwtape's nephew is Wormwood. I wrote down a couple notes that I got from the book to keep in mind. Let's see. The Screwtape. So Screwtape is a very experienced tempter, and he's training kind of Wormwood how to tempt other people. And so his first assignment is to tempt the person named the Patient, who is someone in his mid-30s. I think they said he's British. And so Screwtape sends him to college or school or something to learn about how to make humans sin. And so Screwtape says that he doesn't like it because of the new headmaster or whatever, and says that he's horrible, and says that Wormwood hasn't learned anything, and so he's kind of taking it on himself to teach him the things that he needs to know. So I wrote down some of the some of Wormwood's goals that I noticed throughout the book and the letters. The first thing that I noticed was that he wants to make the Patient annoyed / fight with his mom, to be the first main problem that he has. Him and his mom have a pretty good relationship. It says that she's older, and he has to take care of her, but it doesn't really seem to bother him at the beginning. And so one of the things that Wormwood does is try to point out the Patient's mother's not flaws, but the annoying things that she does to make him more annoyed. And then the second thing that he does is make the Patient hate his neighbors. The third thing, make the Patient feel like a coward during the war. So World War II is going on during this book, and he's scared to get drafted, and then he does get drafted, and he's having an internal battle with himself for being a coward during the war. And so Wormwood is trying to make that worse for him. And then the fourth thing I said was that he's trying to tempt the Patient with women in his town or his neighborhood, I think it said, and it ends up not working. It goes on later to say that he found his wife and whatever, and that Wormwood did not succeed when trying to put all these women into his life. And then at one point it says that the Patient learns that lust is temporary, which was something that Wormwood did not want the Patient to learn, so he failed in that aspect. And then the fifth thing I put is that Wormwood tries to make the Patient feel guilty for never trying out new churches. So throughout the book, he just continues to go to this one church, and Wormwood tries to guilt trip him into thinking that he needed to try out different churches and feel like he didn't belong to one specific one. And then the sixth thing, make the Patient focus on his wife that he forgets about God. So be so in love with his wife and so focused on their relationship that he completely forgets that God should be in the middle of it, is what I got from it. And then the last main thing that I noticed Wormwood tried to do was to keep him alive during the war, because if he died during the war, then Wormwood would have failed, because the Patient was on a pretty good track with God and had a good relationship. But he ends up failing, and Screwtape is actually oh, I forgot. Screwtape, he does something, and Wormwood reports him for it, and so because of Wormwood reporting him, Screwtape is mad at him and is ready for Wormwood to fail. And so when he does, it says that his hatred was shown and he's excited to eat him, which was interesting. And then two things that I felt personally could help me with my relationship with God. My second like point that I made about Worwood was to make the patient hate his neighbors, which I took that as like, it doesn't necessarily have to be neighbors, but like friends or roommate or whatever. Like the devil could be trying to put thoughts in our heads like that they're bothering us all the time and that we can't stand them and that we can't be around them, so we should be rude to them. And so that is something that, like, just not to get angry quick, to have peace and just go easy on the people that we surround ourselves with. And then the second thing, make the patient focus on his wife, that he forgets about God. Obviously, I can't say that I'm married, but I took that personally as like the friends around me that I have, to not focus on my relationships with them so much that I forget about how good God is and what he's doing in my life, and that I shouldn't just like invest everything that I have in my friendships. And even though that's important, I should also be spending an equal amount of time with God as I am with my friends. So, yep.